Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm here with, what's your name?
Mom. You can call me Mom.
Mommy. Did
Or
I ever
No, you were Mama.
I was always Mama.
The other girls were Mom. You were Mama.
And they were never Mama.
No, never.
I still call her Mama.
Yeah. You always
Still
had to be
Mama.
different.
Is that right? Or
Yeah.
I'm just the baby. It's just very baby.
Maybe.
But my mom's here and we're so excited. You guys have been asking for her and here she is. And we're diving into everything. Motherhood, abusive relationships, caring for a spouse with Alzheimer's. We're talking about it all. Before we dive in, I just want to say that if you want to support me, you guys, it's super important now more than ever. Go to patreon.com/Laura Clary. All of my videos are still there. You can see them all there. Plus, we release podcasts right away after we film them. They go right up on Patreon. Plus, I do lives every week. Plus, I'm starting a book club. It literally starts in July. We already picked our book. You can go there, patreon.com/Laura Clary, to see the book. And I was inspired by my mother. My mother inspired the book club because you've had a book club. I was telling people it was like around 40 years. Am I right?
Yeah, between 30 and 40 years and around there. Same. Well, we've had a death, but goes to show how long we've been together. Yeah, same 12 women. It's great. We love it.
And it's like life-changing, right?
Yes.
Why do you love the book club so much?
It's a group of women that you can say anything to, do anything with.
Yeah.
I mean, we've traveled as a book club.
Yeah.
It's just so supportive. And any kind of problem you have, somebody in that room has had it before you.
But what about the books?
Oh, yeah, the books. We love the books.
Yeah. But is the books, the books almost seem like the background. It's not even at the core.
You know what? We discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, our book club had 3 English teachers in it.
Yeah.
2. Although one of them won't read nonfiction. She'll only read fiction.
So does she just skip out on the fiction?
Yeah, you don't get to no on the nonfiction.
I'm sorry, on the nonfiction, she just skips out. Does she
don't get
come
to do
anyway?
that.
But she's like, I haven't read it. I refuse.
Right.
But she
as a
still
teacher,
comes.
how can you do that?
Right.
That's wrong.
That's hilarious.
No, whatever month, there are 12 of us, 12 months in a year. You get to pick the book, any kind of book you want for your month. And sometimes people absolutely hate it. And other times everybody loves it. Sometimes, as the children would say, it's cringe.
I stole your second Friday of every month.
Oh, did you steal that? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we're going to meet every second Friday, the second Friday of every month, to discuss the book. Ours is a digital book club. So it's kind of cool because it's people from around the world joining.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. The only reason we did it was everybody gets busy. But if you know the whole year that Friday is booked, you just schedule around it.
Totally.
So we have a wonderful time with each other.
I do want to do like 2 separate book clubs a month just because it's people globally. So
yeah,
if I do 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's like 3 in the morning in England. You know, it's like, so I'm going to do 1 in the morning, 1 at night, just to like make sure.
So they're going to be live.
Yes.
Fun.
Live. And then we're bringing people in through Zoom. So you can do Zooms on Patreon, and then people can come in and share for 3 minutes on what, and then you can like raise your hand and respond to that thing. So it's all digital. Yeah.
Fun.
And then there's forums. There's just conversations you can have on the platform too.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So you can just talk about the book through, what do you call it? Just threads, comment threads.
Comment threads.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And
no, you'll love it.
Yeah, I think so too. But my point is, I got so many book suggestions, and the genres were like, I would never think.
Right.
Smut was in there.
Oh, good. We read a romance novel once.
You did?
Could you see me reading a romance novel?
Was that cringe?
It was cringe for me. Yeah.
You didn't like it?
No. Washboard abs. I'm sorry.
Milky white breasts.
I didn't need either.
Yeah.
You know, that one, not so much me, but you know, other people were enthused.
Also, if you subscribe annually to my Patreon, you get 10% off, and I'll draw you a personalized sketch like this. And then you can put it up on there, right? With your name on it. What a day.
Which, yesterday?
What a week.
Okay. I can accept what a week.
What a year.
Oh, no, the year's had
What
some
a
good.
lifetime.
Mm,
The year's had some good what?
has had some very good spots in it, but yeah, this was not the best week.
Oh my gosh. I mean, we've still had fun.
Absolutely. We always have fun.
We do.
Yeah.
You turned 73.
I did.
73. How does it feel?
Old. I'm old. Now, you know what? The number sounds old. I don't feel at all different.
Okay. So you don't feel different
No.
other than like your knees hurt sometimes.
No, I've got new ones. So they don't hurt at all. Yeah.
Okay. So how old do you feel?
I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
50-ish.
Yeah.
You know, I just
Yeah.
and my parents' generation, it seemed like the minute they hit 50, they all acted old.
Right.
You know, they just had a different perspective on
Yes.
what it is. And I don't think that that type of age restricts us anymore, or the view of that. People's view on age restricts us to that. I think if you're 73 and you can still, you know, do whatever you want, and if you're really physically fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son makes grandma dive in the pool every 5 minutes. So
Jump,
you've been doing
grandma,
that
jump.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only hard part for me is like getting out of the pool over and over and over again. The diving, the swimming is fine.
Are you scared to get older?
No.
Why not?
Because it's inevitable.
Right. So you're just in acceptance of what is, and then it's not scary.
No, I don't find it scary at all. I think age is like a badge of honor.
Yes.
You've survived this long and you're still semi-sane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no, that doesn't bother me at all.
Good. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too.
My mom's been here for almost 2 weeks now, and it's great. So my mom came with my dad, my sister, my 2 nieces who are 10 and 11, and they've just all been here. And then my dad and my sister left together a few days ago, and now it's just my mom and my nieces. But it's been really nice just having you here.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's important to have family around.
100%. I'm trying to convince her because it's me in Los Angeles, and then my middle sister's in Oregon on a farm, and then she's right outside Chicago. So I'm like, just be full-time grandma and do a few months here, a few months in Oregon, and a few months in, you know, Downers Grove, where we're from. Then you get to maintain your friendships, also have strong relationships with your grandkids, travel. You don't have to have the shitty Chicago weather in the winter, because you could be here during those months, or Oregon. No, Oregon's cold in the winter too.
But, well, Oregon is cold in the winter, but not as I would rather be in Chicago than Oregon in the winter, because we get a lot of snow. And snow is kind of gorgeous.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and there's
say,
a feeling that you get when everything is all snowed in. It's cocoonish.
Totally. Christmas lights on a palm tree. That's not Christmas. I don't know what the that is. That's not Christmas.
Well, if you were always raised with it being on a palm tree, I'm sure it is. But no, and the kids building snowmen and all that stuff. And we do a lot of sledding, and because there's that park right across.
Yeah.
And you guys did too. My garage used to be filled with kids' sleds.
Oh yeah.
I never knew who belonged to who.
Sledding
what belonged to
was
who.
The best.
And then you'd all converge upon the house and have hot chocolate, and maybe chocolate chip cookies, and then put all the stuff back on, go, and you'd be back again in 40 minutes, and we'd do it all over again.
I loved that. Put on our snowsuits. I loved the snowsuit. I still remember the like kind of rose snowsuit, right?
Yes.
It wasn't a bright pink. It was like a muted rose
It
snowsuit.
was.
You remember that?
Yes. It was a darling snowsuit.
was a really great snowsuit.
And you guys all walk like the Kraft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah.
It was very,
Oh,
and
now
the
you're doing.
idiot mittens.
Yeah.
I always loved putting idiot mittens on kids
Why do you call them idiot mints? Because they can't do anything with them?
because they're attached to your sleeve because
Oh,
people lose them mittens, gloves so often.
right.
It's kind of idiotic.
Right. Yeah.
And so they got the name idiot mittens. It's actually a strap
Yeah.
that goes through the sleeves and you cannot lose them,
Right.
which I always liked.
Are you dying? Are you really tired right now?
No.
You're not?
Why?
Well, because you didn't sleep.
Oh, no, I didn't sleep. Yeah.
Because
no,
I didn't sleep
I know.
and I'm struggling.
Yeah, no, I'll struggle at 3:30.
Really? Right.
3:30 is my sleep or die time.
But is it sleep or die regardless, or sleep or die if you didn't get a good night's
Sleep
sleep?
or die if I didn't get a good night's sleep. The other thing that always gets me is like if I stay up all night to do pads or whatever.
Just FYI, that sounds weird. PADS is when she feeds the homeless. What does it stand for? PADS?
Yeah, pads.
Do you even
Well,
know?
no, it's the pads that you put on the floor of.
That's why you call it PADS.
That's why we call it pads.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so PADS is she'll go to this church every month and feed the homeless, and they put pads on the floor so they have somewhere to sleep.
Right. And we were always the breakfast crew.
Yes, I remember. She would drag me out
I would.
at 4 a.m.
I would.
Yeah.
And one homeless guy looked at her and he said, "You're so beautiful. Can't you get a better job than this?" It's like, oh, this isn't exactly a job. But anyway.
I love like when they would kind of yell at you that the food wasn't good.
Yeah. I wouldn't serve this to my dog. I'm from New York. This isn't a bagel.
Yeah.
And it was Thomas's. It was the same bagels I fed you guys.
It was a good bagel.
It was a good bagel.
Not to him.
No.
Did I ever tell you about when I lived in Laurel Canyon and the next door neighbors brought me pizza and wine as like a welcome gift because I had just moved in?
That was nice.
Next door, right.
Everything
next
you
door.
couldn't have.
Right. So I couldn't have the pizza because I don't eat dairy. And I couldn't have the wine because I'm a recovering alcoholic. But I'm not going to say no, thank you.
Right.
So I just took it. Thank you so much. And when he left, I was like, all right, so the wine's going to go to a friend. I can give it to as a gift. What do we do with this pizza? It's a brand new pizza. It's warm. It's, like I got to get rid of it now. So I was like, all right, there's a lot of homeless people like down Sunset and Laurel Canyon on that cross. I always see homeless people there. So I will give it to one of them.
Yeah.
So I drive down and I roll down my window and there's a woman there. And I was like, hey, do you want a pizza? And she just looks at me. She's like, I don't eat pizza. It's too greasy. She's like, I don't do grease. Get that away from me. Yeah. So.
Yeah. But I would always stay up all night because it's easier.
Yeah.
Because I was breakfast shifts. So we had to start really cooking about 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So I would just stay up.
Yes.
And then Saturday, all day, I'd be fine. But Sunday, it would hit me.
Oh.
Then I'd be tired.
Oh my gosh.
But no, it was great doing all that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I was up till 1 a.m. binge watching people commenting on this crazy situation.
Is that what I couldn't figure out why you were up till 1?
Yeah, because I normally go to bed. My kids sleep. I co-sleep with the kids. And so normally I pass out with them at 8:30. Like I just go to bed with them. And then I can function in the morning. Doesn't matter if they wake up at 5 or 6. I'm good because I go to bed with them. But every once in a while, I want to listen to an audiobook or whatever. Just have a moment to watch something or just.
You mean like a sane grown-up moment?
A sane grown-up moment. With a 4 and a 6-year-old on either side of me, but still sleeping. They're sleeping. Yes. They don't need me for a minute. So last night I was on TikTok and then there was a video about the situation right now of, you guys know my account was hacked by my ex, literally my Facebook page that I worked for over a decade on, over 14 million followers, gone. They finally got it back. But now because when he hacked the account, he started writing these really heinous things as me, right? Before he deleted the account. So he went in there and it's so obviously him, like it just doesn't even sound like,
Mhm.
me. But because he wrote all these horrible things, telling people to unalive themselves, all sorts of stuff as me, right? So because of that, there's like multiple strikes now on my account and it's at risk for being demonetized, my entire Facebook account, which is how I pay my bills primarily. That's like my main source of income and has been for years. So yeah, like we got the page back, right? Which is good.
Well thought out on his part. Because
Are you giving him props?
no, not really.
Well
But
thought out,
no,
Tim.
it's just that
Well played.
no, well thought out.
Well thought out.
Very,
Yes.
this is on
Strategic.
purpose. He knew that probably you could get the page back, but he knew this was another way to screw you.
And what really fucks me up is you're not screwing me. You're screwing our children.
Yeah.
This is I'm the sole provider for our very young children, and you're going to take away the main income stream for their mother? I'm sorry. I get if you hate me. I get that. But why are you going to hurt the kids? And actually, I think that's such bull. Like, oh, he's a good dad. He was just a terrible husband. No, if you treat the mom like you're a dad. Sorry.
Well, and if he wasn't considered one before, what he's doing now is a pretty nasty dad.
Yeah.
He's not putting the kids before anybody but his own feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're innocent. Why are you
Messing with their lives.
Yeah. And now I apologize because I'm not fun daughter this time. I feel like I've been in a panic attack for 4 days straight.
You don't have to be fun daughter.
I know, but I want to be fun daughter.
You gave me years and years and years of fun daughter.
Like I'm just not
sometimes a
very
little
fun.
too much fun.
Too much fun.
Yeah, a little too much fun
I
sometimes.
feel like I'm not fun at all right now.
Oh, you're
I'm
fine.
Am I hard to be around?
No, absolutely not.
Because I'm tense all the time, though.
You
I'm
are very tense. Yeah. Yeah.
So then the videos I'm watching, you guys, until 1 a.m. last night are just, I mean, literally, there's hundreds of them, of women who are domestic abuse survivors.
Right.
And they're like, warning, you need to, hide and have armed security. And because my ex tried to unalive me, and these were all the signs. And it's just like that over and over and over. And these women are not trying to scare me. They're
Right.
trying to warn me.
Right.
And they're sharing their stories. So I'm grateful for it. But it's
Yes.
also like every noise I hear,
Oh, yeah. I know. I go around and I check all the locks before.
Yeah, and I have an amazing alarm system where if anyone tries to break in, the cops come within 5 minutes, which is really cool.
Yeah. Except he did break in one other time
That's true.
with the alarm.
I don't think the alarm was on then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was around right before Christmas and his parents were in town and we weren't together, but because his parents came all the way from England, I'm like, we'll come over for dinner. You want to see the kids. That's why they came from England. So it's this weird thing of like, you're not together with them, but they're the grandparents.
Right.
And so I had them all over for dinner. I made dinner for everyone. And then it was, the kids' bedtime. So I said, okay, well, I'm going to do their bedtimes and they're going to see themselves out. So they left. And then I was like laying with Alfie because it was at the time where he was sleeping in his bed and I would have to lay with him until he fell asleep.
I know that.
Right. And then they left. I heard them leave as I was doing the bedtimes. And then all of a sudden, like 20 minutes later, I hear the door open again. And I'm like, huh. And I'm laying in bed without, and I can't move because he's not deep enough asleep. I know if I
Yes.
get up,
He'll wake up again.
Yeah. So I'm like, in my head, I hear the door and I'm like, all right, I'm either getting robbed or Steven forgot his sweater. Like it's one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know that I want to get into the entire story there right now, but essentially it got really, really bad. Yeah. He left and then he yeah, broke back in later that night, broke through the garage door, broke it down. And I didn't have the alarm on at that point. Yeah. It was all a lot. It was a
Right.
lot.
Yeah. Very scary.
But that was a big mistake of mine was, he he got arrested that evening for domestic assault and spent the night in jail. And I was going to get a restraining order then, and that was December of 2022. And you wanted me
I
to.
did.
My friends, I didn't feel safe at all, at all. And literally, our psychiatrist at the time, I called him and he was like, "Well, if you guys can be friends, and I'm like, "Well, I don't feel safe, and this happened." And they kind of just he begged me not to do it and to try and work it out and promise me that he would.
He ambushed you at the courthouse.
Yes. It's, yeah. Yeah, he stalked me there, whatever. I write about it in my book. You can read about it there in detail. But the point is, I regret not taking action then. And so I heard somewhere, believe the pattern, not the person,
I like that.
right?
It feels very true.
Yeah. It's like actions speak louder than words. It's that, but it's like I
Yeah.
should have just believed the pattern and not given him another chance. Cause yeah,
But
I
you're
just,
doing that this time.
yes,
And
exactly.
that's huge.
And that's why he's trying to destroy me and erase me
Right.
and whatever, because I'm finally, after all these years, having firm boundaries. And then the next time he did get dangerous, I'm like, not making that mistake again of like minimizing the behavior and,
Mhm.
oh, well, he didn't punch me in the face. So, or whatever. So this time I noticed the dangerous behavior. I noticed the relapse. I noticed all of it. And I had to call the police one day and I told them what happened. And this was recently. And they were like, you need to go get a restraining order, just like the police told me in 2022.
Right.
And yeah. And so this time I did,
I think it would be interesting to know the statistics on how many women actually don't follow through.
totally, because they're heavily manipulated by their abuser.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it would be really interesting. I'm betting it's way more than half.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, he won't do it again.
Right.
Oh, it wasn't as
He
bad
loves
as
me.
them. He loves me. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just had a bad childhood. It's not his fault.
No.
You know,
Well, and in his case, it's never his fault.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
So how did we get from how old are you to this? Our family talks like this.
We're
It's
the
insane.
worst.
We are.
Oh, because I was staying up. Is that why?
Oh, yes. It
Because I was
started
staying
with
up
staying up
till
late.
1 a.m. watching. Like, I'll literally play you one right now, just so you can.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me find you one of the several. Oh, this one.
So since I did the profile comparing Jack Taylor's behavior to that of a family annihilator, you guys have all commented asking me to do Stephen Hilton. And to be honest, I was not actually tracking any of that situation. So I just did a 2-hour deep dive and I brought notes. Keep in mind that this is all alleged. And if you want to sue me, you can take my student debt. Enjoy. So I flagged 3 major warning signs that we're witnessing early stage risk of escalating violence: narcissistic collapse post-separation, obsessive retaliation against a female.
Shoot, sorry. I'm getting a FaceTime video.
And escalation from digital to real world. Post-separation control and sabotage includes like hacking her accounts, deleting her monetized content, impersonating her on her account. This is all digital abuse, but it falls under post-separation abuse. And post-separation abuse is one of the top risk factors for someone to become violent. He violated an active restraining order, which according to the Duluth model and the DASH risk assessment is a high predictor of someone who will become violent. The destruction of her livelihood, specifically in that it takes care of his children also, is a huge risk factor. He is targeting her financial independence. He's trying to isolate her, and he's trying to remove her ability to recover from his abuse. He also exhibits delusions of persecution and externalizing blame. He has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, labeled her mentally unstable, framed himself as the victim, and accuses her of manipulation. So all of these fall under classic Darvo. And Darvo is already an abuse sign and a big risk factor when talking about escalating violence. But when it's happening publicly on a public platform, we're looking at a major red flag. He's clearly obsessed with narrative control. He's posted like long, aggressive denials. He's accused her of fabricating everything, even though she has evidence. We're witnessing a full breakdown from reality. And this is the narcissistic collapse, right? So he doesn't fully meet the profile for a family annihilator, but that does not mean that he could not become one. He is exhibiting a lot of early stage warning signs, and Laura and her children are definitely at risk, especially given the fact that he lives so close to her. I would recommend that she take the children and leave, like far, far away, until he gets inpatient care. So since I did the profile comparing Jack Taylor's behavior to that.
Okay, so that's what I was watching last night until 1 a.m.
I can see why you were up. Yeah.
You know, and it's like hundreds of videos like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can always come home with us.
Yeah. Honestly, Downers Grove is a great place to raise kids. It really, I mean, I loved being a kid there, growing up there. Right outside of the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you're not like, no shade to like Southern Illinois or whatever, but I feel like it was fun to be so close to Chicago.
Right.
Yet in this suburb where you
Right.
could, you know, ride your bike to the park or just
Sure.
walk to your friend's house. You know, it's kind of like best
Yeah.
of both worlds.
Yeah. It absolutely was. It's a really nice, caring neighborhood. And you knew everybody. You knew the neighbors. It was one of those, you know, that you had a safe place to go on every block.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was nice. And nice for
Totally.
us, too, as parents.
I know. I got stopped yesterday by a neighbor who they have a 2 and 4-year-old. And I was walking the kids.
Mhm.
We take like 5 walks a day. Okay. It's like how Alfie regulates
Right.
through his walks. And then Poppy is like, pick me up. Oh, I'm so tired after like 3 houses. I'm like, come on, Poppy, you can do it. And Alfie's just like running up and downhill for miles. But anyway, this couple pulled over and they had young kids in the car and they live a block away. And they're just like, hi, we should have a play date, neighbors. And I was like, yes, let's not be LA about this and actually know our neighbors. And I've got great neighbors. I actually have really great neighbors. And then I saw them yesterday and they pulled over and they were like, we saw your Facebook. So sorry. God.
Maybe no play date with you. No. They're probably still willing to play with your children, but maybe not right at this time.
No, they just felt,
yeah,
you know, bad. It's weird to have strangers know such personal things, you know?
Yeah.
But.
Well, you weren't the one that brought it all out.
No, but I'm getting a lot of women who are like, speak for us because we were silenced and couldn't. Or like, I almost wish my ex's abusive behavior was publicized so people would believe me. Because there's a lot of he said, she said.
Right.
Right. And so if there's no proof, if there's no evidence, these women are not believed. And then they have to co-parent with their abuser because their abuser's so good at lying and manipulating.
Very scary.
Yeah. Whereas at least in my case, one of the silver linings is that it's undeniable.
Right.
Because it's all out there. So.
Courtesy of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I know. What a silly time.
I don't know if silly is exactly the word that I would use for this time, but yeah, definitely an anxiety-ridden time.
I know. I have questions for you.
Oh, questions.
Well, actually, since we're talking about this, I even did little sections, Mom.
Oh my.
Little segments. Okay, so because we're talking about that. Okay, what has it been like watching me go through such an abusive situation?
It's
Me and the
horrible.
kids.
It's horrible because there's nothing that I can do, and doesn't matter how old your child is. They're still your child, and you always want to protect them as best you can. And we are so far away. Makes me want to be out here all the time just to have somebody else, another adult in the house.
Yeah.
Not that I think
Oh,
I
grandma
would
could
scare them
fight.
off. Oh, yeah. I'm very tough. I don't know that, but it makes me feel better. Being in downers is worse
Yeah.
because I don't know. And when I don't hear from you, and I'm just talking like we don't talk, we basically talk almost every day.
Yeah.
But if I don't hear from you for a couple of days,
Yeah.
there's that in the back of my mind going, is she okay? Are they okay?
Yeah.
What's going on? All of that stuff. It's absolutely horrible. Although I'm sure living through it is much worse. The feelings of betrayal and have got to be overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. I do feel that I I don't know if dissociate is the word. I think when you're a mom to young kids, you have to compartmentalize, I guess.
Yes.
So, in a way, it's a weird blessing because I I actually made a video about it. When you're scared, you're going to get unalived, but you still have to play princess and dragons. It's like
Yeah.
you can't stop being a mom. You still got to
No,
be fun and engaged and
you don't
even,
want them more traumatized.
no, even the police were here the other day and I made it fun for them. It was like, "Oh my goodness, Poppy, the police." And she was like, "Do you get the bad guys?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And she was like, "Are you a good cop or a bad cop?" Did I tell you that? She said,
No, nice though.
she's like, "Are you a good cop?" Or it was either, "Are you a good cop or are you a bad cop?" And he was like, "I think I'm a good cop." And yeah, she was, oh my God. So she said that. And then they give her stickers and they give Alfie a sticker and they're all like,
Which
so
looks like a badge.
yeah,
So that was very cool.
sticker that looked like a badge and they loved it and they were so super excited. And even my nieces were like, thought it was cool that the police were here, So try to make it fun, even though like inside my heart is like racing and I'm scared and I'm disturbed and I'm angry, but got to make a game out of it, right?
Yes.
And then
the end.
I said, "Go
Yep.
inside." I said, "Kids, go inside." And then I'm continuing filing the report. And she comes back out and I could see grandma at the door like, "Fuck, Poppy, why are you running back out?" Because I know grandma probably tried to keep her in, but Poppy came darting out to me and she goes, "Mom," and it's me and the two cops. And she goes, "Mom, I have something to tell you." And I was like, "Okay, what?" And she's like, "I pooped and I need you to wipe my butt." And I was like, "All right." And the cops were just like,
Yeah.
and then I was like, "Okay."
Did not want grandma to do it, needed mom to do it.
She literally just ran back out to say, "I pooped and I need you to wipe my butt." And the police were just like, they actually laughed.
Well,
they did laugh.
What else do you do?
Yeah. And I was like, "Okay, Poppy, I'll be right there."
Yeah.
So I finished filing the report and then I was like, "All right, I'm going to go wipe some butts." And they were like, they love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to another mom whose daughter is going through something like this?
Speak your mind and stand behind her. Encourage her to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. And I mean, I come from the generation of my family's got no divorces.
Well, that was my next question. Do you think women of your generation were taught to put up with more?
Absolutely. And my mother's generation, even more. It was not a thing. Divorce was something, I mean, it's very common now, but for a long time, it was not a common thing.
Yeah.
And you were kind of jaded if you got divorced. That was,
Yeah. And even,
it was a stigma.
but you can also see now too why, because I'm sure of all your family and friends, there's probably certain people you see who you're like, they probably would have been better off divorced, but they never did. Right? the woman or the man put up with whatever abuse.
Right.
But then now, like in my situation and so many women, what I'm seeing is the post-separation abuse is so much worse even.
See, and I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard occasionally about somebody attacking their ex-wife, but I didn't know it was a whole category, and I didn't know it was as common as it is. And
Yeah.
I'm very sorry we had to find out the way that we're finding out.
But I think about sometimes like some of the marriages I've seen growing up where the dad was abusive, right?
Yeah.
And like what would have happened had she tried to leave? There's some crazy statistic that
Right.
like 75% of women who leave abusive relationships, the ex attempts to like unalive the person. It's some, I don't want to get it wrong, but it was one of my late night videos that came up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Have to do
Yeah.
some research on that, but it was pretty jarring statistic.
Yeah.
So like my point is you can see why people stay too.
Yes, but do I think they should stay? Do I believe,
Yeah, sure.
you know, it's better for the child to
Yeah.
have both the parents involved?
Yeah.
If the parents' relationship is so toxic, and if there is an abuser as one of the two primaries,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
don't stay. Go
Yeah.
away. And I'm not saying people can't change, and there couldn't be some fairy tale happy ending for a few people, but I don't think that's the common way that goes. I think that it's a scary thing, and that the sooner you leave, the better,
Yeah.
before it escalates too much. And that sounds too easy, because there are so many things to weigh, like the kids, you know, and their dad, and they love him, and they do, you know, and he loves them, and maybe he'll change. You know, there's just so much. So just saying, yes, they should leave.
I can also see why the woman would stay too, for fear of, okay, if he's abusive and then they divorce and then somehow he hides the abuse. So the judge grants 50-50 custody and now the children are alone with that abuser 50% of the time. Well, I'd rather be at least in the same house.
Right.
So I could protect the kids. So I'm sure that's also.
Yeah, that's
not that that's good. It's not. It's just I can see why some women.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, okay. So just, this is a weird thing, but in Downers Grove, we're a suburb of Chicago, so we're in DuPage County. DuPage County judges tend to favor the male. In the city, the Cook County judges, it almost always goes in the way of the female.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
The male seems to hold more power in a more reddish area.
Yeah.
More conservative. And I think a lot of it does depend on who your judge is, and all that stuff is. There's so many different scary scenarios.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
That it would be terrifying, and even financially. Because in this case, it's the opposite. You're the breadwinner.
Oh my God. I think about that all the time. Like, if the roles were reversed, what the fuck would have happened? If I had nothing, no money, if I wasn't, the primary earner.
Right.
And we divorced, like, I would be so screwed.
And that's so much more likely than this scenario.
Yeah.
And that keeps a lot of women trapped in that situation.
Yes.
Although there are shelters out there, especially for that.
Yes.
I'd work at one of those too.
Yes, which we should link some of those in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And one of my best friends is going through literally such a similar situation. So we're really navigating it together.
Yes.
I
know. And it's bizarre because you guys have been together. Well, I think she was a late addition. You must have been 12.
Yeah.
Before you met her.
Yeah.
But yeah, lifelong friends.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about home life. How's that going?
It's interesting. It's ever changing.
Yeah.
You're referring to Dad having Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
and
just
it,
where you guys are right now.
yeah. It's escalating, but slowly. He's agreed to take some of the medication, which is a really good thing. There isn't a cure. There's fear that it's Lewy body and not Alzheimer's.
There is fear that
Yes,
and who
because he's showing symptoms that are more prone to Lewy body.
and what's the difference
There's a tick up in aggression.
with Lewy body?
In Lewy body, you also can show signs that are similar to Parkinson's. The shaking hands.
And has he had that?
His hands do shake. Yes, yes. One of the things that regulate any kind of structure is really, really good for him, which is why he's actually still working.
Yes.
Which is scary sometimes because I need to know where he is. But we have trackers and everything else in place. And it's a little scary that he's driving himself. But multiple times a week, I go out in the car with him and we drive someplace. I make sure we drive neighborhoods, we drive busy streets, we drive on the highway just to make sure that he remembers what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I would never want him to be a danger to anybody else. And I think that's scary. But yeah, home is, it's a learning curve. I learn all the time what I should notice and not notice. There are things that he's very sensitive about, but he's very definitely better when his life is structured.
Yeah.
Which is.
I feel like we all are.
Maybe.
But him especially.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's been the hardest part of loving someone through illness?
Well, there's a bit of a heartbreak because you know who they were.
Yes.
And the humor that he doesn't understand anymore. Or even, we'll have something will be happening, monumentally in the country. And we'll be having a political discussion and he just kind of blanks out. He doesn't really follow it. He'll do like one giant statement that everybody should be in jail, and so there's no real back and forth type of discussion anymore. And I miss that. But then there's also.
So like the intellectual stimulation.
Right. Yeah, that's gone. But a lot of things he does with the joyous abandon of a kid.
Yeah.
Where he just finds such joy in rolling a pair of dice.
Yeah.
Or getting a 6 if that's what he wanted. I mean, it's that part of it is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, that was my next question. What was the most unexpectedly beautiful part?
That part is kind of beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other stuff he doesn't really remember. Like he'll remember and he'll say something really sweet, but 10 minutes later, I'll say, that was so nice what you said to me. And he'll go, I never said that. He truly does not remember.
Does he ever remember?
Yeah, sometimes. It depends on what it is. A lot of times it takes a lot of prodding. Well, prodding isn't it. But you know what I mean. A lot of hints to get back to it.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, he forgets. Although he did well here. Although he kept asking me whose hotel this is. So, yeah. But I mean, once he saw everybody, he was back to, oh, I know where I am.
Yeah. I mean, he remembers us. Sometimes, like when we were traveling to Oregon, he was like, whose kid is that?
Yeah, he does that.
Like he doesn't remember. But
no.
He's always remembered you and me.
Yes. But that's long term. Short term is the one that's really going to take the hit.
And then the aggression, how's that been going?
It was getting bad, but he's actually agreed to take. It's a kind of an anti-anxiety that's specifically geared towards his disease, and it's been much better. He's much calmer. He still will be aggressively mad about things, but it's not that extra anger that could lead to a physical confrontation.
Which is crazy because he's to be honest, he's always had a little bit of a temper, hothead, a little bit.
Yes.
If he not often, but he would get angry, but he was never violent. He would never
No, he catches bugs and takes them outside. He won't
Right.
kill them. Yeah.
Even like if he threw a glass, it wasn't at you. It was just like a temper tantrum.
Right.
But whereas now with the Alzheimer's or dementia,
Lewy body dementia, whichever.
right.
They're in the same
Yeah,
field. Yeah.
that's a thing. But I'm so glad that the medication. it's like
Yes, this one seems to be helping, which is another thing. I have the pills out in a caddy, and he'll say, I'm not taking any pills. I don't take the doctor's poisons. And yet, if I have him out in the caddy on the counter, he's curious enough that he looks at him, sees that his name is on it, and he takes them. But he still doesn't think he's taking pills because he
Okay.
doesn't remember doing it. So it's a jumble.
And he's changed his swimsuit fashion.
We're not going there. Nope. You can say it if you want to. I'm not going there.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like what? It's just so funny. He just has new fashion sense. Okay. We'll leave it there.
He's wearing thongs.
He's wearing thongs in the hot tub now.
And we think they're women's.
And she literally goes, "Where did you get that?" And he goes, "Wouldn't you like to know?" Is that
yeah,
what you
something
said?
like that. It's like,
Wouldn't you like to know? And mind you, this is a 6'4", 74-year-old man.
yeah, who
walking
should
out.
not be wearing a thong. No.
And she just wants answers.
Yeah.
And he
Like-
just loves to wear them in the hot tub. I got them that hot tub, like a decade ago?
Yes.
And
You
he
did.
goes in it all the time.
All the time.
And now in a woman's thong.
I know.
All right.
Just
Okay.
bizarre.
This was just not my dad, okay?
No. No. Just completely crazy.
But is it every time in the thong now?
Yes, because regular swimming trunks,
Mhm.
the water bubbles all up and around. And
Okay.
he decided he doesn't like that, so he fixed the problem. I know. Yeah.
Like, why not a Speedo? You know?
Right?
Why go straight to
That's
the
what I
thong?
said. They have
The wo-
men's bathing suits that are like this.
Uh-huh.
These are very comfortable. Okay. And if it's colder when he's going out,
Uh-huh.
you know the kind of tank tops you wear with just the spaghetti straps?
Yes.
He'll come down with the tank top. But because he's 6'4" and so tall, it's like a midriff tank top. And yeah. And
So
the thong.
crop top and thong?
Yeah, basically, yes.
For the
Yes.
hot tub?
For the hot tub.
It's a shame he didn't bring that here because he was
Oh,
just
yeah.
here. And he did go swimming a few times while he was
Right.
here.
But luckily, we have bathing suits here, and I did not bring any of the
You
others.
didn't bring the
No,
thong and the crop
I
top
did
for
not.
Dad? Oh, okay.
No. I figured nobody wants to see this.
I wish I got to talk to him more. I feel like it is hard to have conversations.
That's also one of the symptoms, or yeah, I guess one of the symptoms. He'll sit forever and just stare
Yeah.
off into space and be completely happy.
Yeah.
Zoning out that way. I was always like, do you want me to put on a news show? Do you want me to get you a book? Do you want me to, and he doesn't. He just wants to zone.
It's kind of meditative.
Yeah. He did a lot of that out on your deck. He'd
Yeah.
sit by himself and everybody else would be in the pool or
Yeah.
running
hanging out in
around.
the kitchen or
And he'd just sit there and but at least you've got a beautiful view. You've got the, big trees to look at, and it's gorgeous.
he was
so
playing piano, and I swear he was playing an original song because normally I hear him play the Beatles.
yes, he plays the Beatles a lot.
Yeah. And then this time I was hearing him play what felt like an original song. And it was really beautiful. I feel like I tried to get some of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I was like, that's cool. He always plays, Bob Dylan or the
Yeah,
Beatles, but I never really heard him play original music.
right. And he used to when he was young.
I know. So how interesting too if that came back, because I was like, I've never heard that song before.
Right.
It was cool. I
Yeah.
think he was just improvising on the piano, but I just never heard him do that before.
Yeah.
You know?
And he still loves his guitar and he loves the piano, but that kind of stuff is rote. He knows how to do it.
Yes.
Whereas
like
learning something,
machines.
would be difficult for him. I think that's why every night at 5:00, we play games. We play gin and we play gin rummy and we play Yahtzee and we
Yeah.
play backgammon, occasionally chess. He won't play me in Scrabble because I beat him. I told him he can use all the science words he wants, but he's still, no. But that kind of structure, that's really good for him, because otherwise he'd be sitting someplace just zoning. Takes 2 naps a day.
At least.
Yeah.
He's always sleeping now.
Yeah, he does sleep a lot.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yes, it is. It is.
He doesn't get scared anymore so much.
In his sleep.
Yeah.
But you know what? The anti-anxiety is also helping with that.
That's great.
Because he was always fighting or being chased or something.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of nightmares.
Mm.
Which is interesting because he had, that wasn't his life ever.
Right. I know. He had a pretty cushy childhood.
He grew up in Oak Park and
Yeah.
was really nice in a big family. He was the spoiled baby.
Yeah.
Both parents there. And yeah.
Okay. Motherhood. I have a few questions about that.
Tell me everything I should have done with you or didn't do with you. Although I guess that's the same thing.
Okay. They're just a few.
Okay.
The little motherhood segment. What do you feel you got right as a mother? And what do you feel you completely screwed up? Let me say it again where I'm not reading fists, so you can cut the reading because I hate that. Okay, what do you feel you got right as a mother?
We didn't have a lot of rules. Our rules were simple. And yet we were strict as far as being polite and respecting elders and, all that good stuff. We tried to be strict with school. We succeeded with 2 out of 3. So I think that was good. Sometimes, and we encourage you to follow your own interests.
Yeah.
Rather than pushing you into something else.
That's my favorite. I mean, and you made it so much fun. You did so much right. So much right. You gave us such a fun childhood.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Just always coming up with fun games and so present with us. And
yes,
it was just fun all the time. We just had fun and we could invite our friends over whenever we wanted. And it was just fun. And you always encouraged us, to just follow our whatever it was that we loved. And it wasn't like, you need to do this, you need to study this, you need to be a doctor, you shouldn't be an artist. We never got any of that.
No.
So how do you think you f***ed up?
I think I could have maybe, I don't know. There's always many ways that a parent feels that they've messed up.
Or what could you have done better?
I don't know. I think I could have been pushier as far as secondary education goes. I mean, the fact that you didn't want to go to college at all was really hard to swallow. And that was scary.
But that was the right decision for me.
I know. It was the right decision for you and it worked out great. But for the most part, as a parent, you have that fear of, what if it doesn't work out for them? Where's the backup? And yet I'm also of the opinion that if you have too strong of a backup, you may not give it your all.
Right.
You may be able to let that dream go sooner than you would have
So
otherwise.
pushing college is what you would have done better?
Well, maybe for Colleen,
Oh, I see.
you know,
Yeah.
for different people, I think there would be different things that I would have done
Yeah.
slightly differently. Tracy with all the sports, you know, basketball and volleyball, and, you know, she's tall, much
Yeah.
like Laura. You know, they're both 6-feeters and 6-footers. And she really wanted to do what she knew how to do already, which was play basketball and play volleyball and, you know, anything involved with sports. But she would have been better doing something like speech or debate. She
Got
had
it.
a
So-
more intellectual side that I should have pushed. Shouldn't have let you guys quit piano lessons.
Okay. All right. So
You know, that
that's
kind of
really not
stuff.
bad. That's nothing. What do you think that I am getting right as a mom, and what could I be doing better? I'm really more interested in the second one, but
I think you're doing a lot of things. Your kids are great. I think that's what you look at. It's not one thing or
Poppy's a diva. And now
Poppy,
he's out of
but
his
you were a
mind.
diva.
Was
Poppy
I?
might be a little more diva-ish than you,
Yeah.
but I was never a diva. So you didn't have a diva to look at and to
Right.
follow.
Right.
Whereas Poppy's got a diva as a mother.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
that is not true.
oh, please. Yeah. Nope. Since you were 3, you've been a diva. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm glad you agree. So Poppy sees that and she
Right.
emulates it.
Yeah.
You didn't have that. You
Right.
had, you know, a very laid back kind of you're right. We were the kid house on the block and everyone was there and,
Yeah.
you know, no makeup. You know, I'm never been into that kind of stuff. And yeah.
What could I have done better? What could I
do better
could I be
now?
doing better as a mom? Yes.
You know what? And
Just be honest. Don't sugarcoat.
I'm not sugarcoating, at least not this part. I might sugarcoat something
And
else. but-
also, apologies for blinking so much. It's because I haven't slept. Do you find
Oh.
your eyes get stingy when you haven't slept?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just like this. I think it's the bright light, and then
Right.
I haven't slept, so I'm just like this the whole time. So just apologies. I noticed that because the only other time that happened when I didn't sleep and then I had to film, people just commented on my blinking. So now I'm self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
Okay, but go ahead.
Okay. I wouldn't begin to criticize your raising of Elfie. That's a problem I never had. I didn't have, I mean, you're not neurotypical. I think you're neurodivergent yourself, but not to the extreme that he is.
Yeah.
You know, so that you have a whole different set of conditions that I didn't have.
Yes.
So I would never
That's true.
criticize that. And he's doing wonderfully. Every time I come back, he's speaking more and he's responding more. There's more eye contact,
Mhm.
the cuddling that he does with you.
Mhm.
And even you
Yeah.
went to the wedding for the weekend and he was actually leaning against me, which, you know, was great.
Yeah.
So on that kind of stuff, I can't criticize.
Yeah.
This is a stupid criticism, but I'm
Okay.
going to say it anyway.
Okay.
It can be 2 minutes from dinner and you're letting them snack on whatever they want to.
Yes.
You know, or-
yes.
My birthday party. We had a birthday party because I'm old now. We're out there and Poppy wanted a piece of chocolate cake. She got a piece of chocolate cake. She didn't take a bite. I want the other cake. You gave her the other cake.
Yes.
I want a cupcake. You gave her the cupcake.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, why don't you split that cupcake and have Frankie? And because I knew it was just all going to get pitched.
Yes.
So that, but I think that we, at least my generation, are more, we don't waste food.
Totally.
Not there are starving children in China,
Yes.
but,
yes.
you know, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I would definitely change that.
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much my big criticism. But
yeah.
it doesn't feel like a real one as far as it's not indicative of how your children are going to turn out.
No, but that is a good note. And I would say that, okay, because there's permissive parenting. Okay, there's like gentle parenting, but then there's permissive, which isn't good.
Right.
That's when it's more passive. I would say I'm not overall passive. Like I do,
Yes.
make sure, but I am more lenient because I feel like you were too. Like as a kid, I
Mhm.
remember there being cookies and all sorts of stuff just on the table that you could just eat. I
You
don't
could.
ever remember it being like, you get one cookie. I
Oh, no.
never remember that. And so, dare I say,
It's always the mother's
I
fault.
got it from you.
Yeah, it's always the
But I
mother's
just
fault.
remember being able to eat what I wanted when I wanted. Maybe not like right before dinner. Maybe I need to work on that.
Right.
But I remember overall, we could just go in the kitchen and eat what we wanted. And I think that's why I have such a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the kids who were on diets and stuff
Yeah.
are the ones that get eating disorders when they're older. Not all,
Sure.
but a lot. I've
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah.
But with Poppy, it's like, yeah, you're right. That when there's a party there, I want to avoid a meltdown. So it's like, if she now wants this cake, even though she hasn't had that one, yeah, all right, go ahead. Because I don't want to deal with the.
Well, and
Well,
you
you
kind
didn't
of
eat your
want
chocolate cake.
well, kind of more like you need to eat what's on your plate first.
But what if she didn't like the chocolate cake?
Well, then you don't eat it. You can always say, I don't like this. Can I have another? Or may I have another?
May I have another, or like I want
Yeah,
a
or a
different
different
flavor.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's absolutely
But
fine.
then with the cupcake, it was like overkill.
Well, and the cupcake was big, and
Yeah.
Frankie wanted a cupcake, and Holly had
She
just
did end up having the half though with Frankie.
right. Holly had just said no because you've still got this on your plate, and then
Yes.
she's looking at,
I
her best
know.
little bestie, and
Yes.
I thought that was kind of a conflict.
Okay. I'll
Not
work on
not
that.
an important one at all.
Yeah. And
But-
to be honest, I don't even have cake in the house ever because
Right.
it causes meltdowns and
Well, that's all he wants to eat for 3 days.
oh
Birthday
my
cake?
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Birthday cake? Birthday
Okay, well
cake's
that's not
fine.
terrible.
No.
So-
I think you're doing a wonderful job. I think you're a great mom. I honestly do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You are too.
Thank you.
I get a lot from you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to adore and love your children unconditionally.
Oh yeah. I know.
and you have to have that huge protective part, which is what's going to get you through this stuff.
Yes.
Because I think, have finally come to the conclusion that they do kind of need some protecting,
That's
at
right.
least for a while,
Yes.
until maybe he gets better.
Yeah. I know. All right. If this were the last conversation we ever had, not that I think I'm going to get unalived,
Oh, my.
but if this were the
I was going with, I thought you were killing me off because I'm old. Okay.
Hey, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. But if this were the last conversation we ever had,
Yes.
what would you want to make sure that you told me?
I love you. And I'm proud of you. Always have been.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean it. Absolutely. From the bottom of my heart.
Really?
Unconditionally.
Thank you. Unconditionally?
Unconditionally.
Really? I could do anything?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. I mean, you still have to follow the 3 basic house rules.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Those are. Let's end with that.
Don't antagonize the crazy people.
Mhm.
Ooh, you got trouble now. Yeah. That's
Okay.
one of them.
Whoops.
Be careful with your heart and be careful with other people's hearts. That's it.
No, there's a third, and let's say it at the same time.
Oh, never trust a woman with big hair. That was more of a.
I need to hear that.
Yeah, do you? Yeah, no, I firmly, that was those greaser chicks when I was growing up, they were scary. Yeah,
one
never
of-
trust a woman with big hair. But the other 3 were more real and, I want you to live your life this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always did love and never trust a woman with big hair.
Well, that's because you got cornered by the greaser in the bathroom.
I did.
She
Earring
threatened
ripped
you.
out and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's
yep,
another
yep.
podcast. Well, thank you guys for joining my mommy, everyone. They've been asking for you. You're like the number one person. They don't even care about me. They're just like, where's your mom?
Don't know if I'm buying that hook, line, and sinker.
No.
But I do love being here.
Yeah. You're like the most asked for person.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
Yeah. I love you.
Love you too.
Thank
Oh,
you for
yeah.
coming on.
Wait.
What?
What would you want to be sure to say to me if this was our last time talking?
That I love you and that I actually can't imagine my life without you. So that's really sad. That's gonna make me cry.
Okay. No crying.
Um,
No crying.
but that I just am so grateful that you're my mom and that you always loved me and accepted me for exactly who I was. I just feel so like I lucked out, like I won the lottery. I feel
Oh,
like that all
I'm
the
glad.
time. Yeah.
Me too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about an amusing child to raise.
Woo. It's funny because I feel that way with Poppy.
Yeah.
Like she genuinely cracks me up.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I feel that way with Alfie in different ways. Like Alfie's the most affectionate boy I've ever met in my life. You see him.
Yes,
He's
I
just
do.
nuzzled or
Nuzzled.
nuzzled and nestled.
Oh, nestled is nice.
Yeah.
Nestled would work too.
But yeah, he's just on top of me, snuggling me all day, just so sweet. And the eye contact, you see the way he looks at me, just stares deeply
All
into
the
my
time.
eyes for like
Which
minutes.
is huge.
It's incredible.
Yes.
But Poppy just cracks me up. She's so funny.
Yes.
Was I funny like that when I was her age? 'Cause kills me.
You asked me, Mommy, is this my house? And I said, yes, darling, this is your house. And you said, well, can I live here alone? And I said, who would fix your food and who would get you to school, and who would do your laundry? And you said, well, Dad could stay. But your two sisters and I were out. You were a very funny kid. And then when the neighbor next door, who were very old when you were little, had passed away and you were maybe 5, you went over and told the woman, the widow, that she could come and eat at our house every day because you didn't want her to have to be alone.
Oh, yeah.
You were just incredibly sweet and yet perfectly willing to throw your sisters and I out of the house.
Yeah.
Betty could come for food, but we had to go.
You had to go.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah. So
It's me, Dad, and Betty.
Yeah.
You're out of
Betty.
here. That's so
Yeah,
funny.
it was a
Oh, my
hoot.
goodness. Well, thank you for coming on.
You are welcome.
I love you. Come
I
back
love you too.
soon.
Yeah.
They all want you to move here too. Everyone's like, your mom needs to move in. Your mom needs to move in.
Here's the thing, though. I have a group of women that I've had forever that I love, and they make my life so much better.
But that's why I pitched you the idea of a few months a year.
Yeah.
Because then you're not just getting the 2 weeks, you're getting
Right.
the worst weather months in Illinois or
Right.
whatever. Just so you still get your friends there, but then you get good significant time with us too.
Yeah. And my family's there.
I know.
I still have siblings there and that kind of stuff is very important to me as well.
Yeah, but a few months here.
A few months here
Come
would
on,
be
guys.
lovely. But we have to talk your father into retiring.
That's what I'm saying. And he really needs to.
He does.
sooner
He
than
absolutely
later.
needs to, but he loves work and the doctors say it's really good for him.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So, yeah,
So we'll see.
we're kind of stuck.
That's okay.
But yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Let's go eat. I'm starving.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go eat.
Avocado toast?
Yes, absolutely.
That's all my mom and I eat ever.